Yasu Malaka. Do you know that they still make DVDs in 2025? I just found that out yesterday. What that has to do with online dating? Nothing. Welcome to the Malaka Podcast. Computer Love, Part 77.
I hate to break it to you, I really do, but you're not finding your soulmate online. I'm sorry. Hey guys, what's up? It's Emergency welcome back to my channel. That was intense, I know. And before we get started, I do have to say that this video is not to call anyone out. Well, maybe a little bit, and also maybe myself. And I already know, I can already tell what the comments are going to be. I can already see you being up in arms if you did happen to find the love of your life on like Hinge or Bumble or a dating app. And to that, I say that is amazing. That is awesome. I love you. I love that for you. However, you are the exception and not the rule, babes. Which we're in a world where we're both platonically and romantically lonely and have an abundance of options in things like dating apps, that the fact that the actual success rate of these said dating apps is so low is equal parts insane and insidious, considering the fact that that is the whole promoted purpose of these apps. And just to be clear, this is not a ooh boo dating apps video.
Mine is absolutely a boo dating apps video. It's fucking shit. I fucking can't stand this shit. 70, I lost count. I already forgot the name of the number, whatever the fuck this one is. Sorry, I didn't. Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
Because I think that we as the internet have talked about that enough. And whether you may or may not know, people can be disappointing regardless of where you meet them. However, based off of internet discourse and just interpersonal conversations, the end result of online dating is swinging predominantly negative. And young people, especially Gen Z, are becoming increasingly disillusioned with dating as a whole, and just generally across the board in terms of sexuality. Somehow, somewhere along the lines of our innovation and our quest for modern technology and future solutions to current problems, dating apps and also just modern social media have become the most prevalent way and easiest access way to dating. But I think as internet conversation, as just general conversations have shown, I think we've all come to the conclusion that these apps and social media are not conducive to building actual, tangible, real connections. We're going to be talking about you for a second, and by you, I mean our generation, and how our generational social behaviors have contributed to this as well.
Yes, let's break some of this down. Let me give this guy a shout out here. The video is called Gen Z Isn't Finding Love, and in brackets, and it's not our fault. Now, technically I'm a millennial, but I mean, not really. You know, I'm more like Gen X. You know, I mean, calling me a millennial is like, you know, saying Steph Curry's black. You know, I mean, technically you're right, but, you know, I heard a thing recently, like he's getting a divorce. Like his wife was getting like $1 million a month. Steph gave her like a cooking show or something like that, helped fund it. Then in like the house, he's like his nickname is like it translates to pussy. Now, what this has, again, a lot of these topics have nothing to do with online dating, but again, I mean, this could, I mean, a couple things here. One, I think Steph Curry is way better off with online dating. You know, I mean, as bad as it is nowadays, I think he's still better off. You know, that's, you know, yeah, it's horrible. But no, anyways, like I was saying, how do you say this guy's channel? IMU capital RGENCY, and he brings up some great points. So the whole point is, he's trying to say like why Gen Z can't find love. Now, the way I see it is this: Gen Z, for the most part, I'm assuming it's probably what 20 or younger, or even younger than that. So you're still in school, so you can still kind of find like, your fellow classmates and, I don't know, make a left, make a right, forward, backwards. It doesn't matter. You're still going to find people in your circle as you grow up. Obviously, some of us go to university, some of us are stupid. And, or college or wherever country you're in, it doesn't matter. But the point is, you still will find people, in school, and then it gets to a point where, you have to find people at work to date, and then a lot of policies at work, workplaces say that you can't date at work, and you're gonna get in shit for that. But everybody's fucking somebody at work. I've never fucked a fellow coworker, but if I worked a weekend somewhere doing a security gig and had a date during the shift, or of course not. That's not right, guys. The point is, like as you get older, it's very hard to find a date. It really is. Make new friends. It's tougher as you get older. So if Gen Z's in trouble, then I think we're all fucked. I mean, it's not a very good sign. So, but again, that generation, and again, I'm not ripping on it or nothing, but I would assume anywhere between the ages of 5 and 10, you're given a cell phone. So, I didn't get my first cell phone until I moved out, and that was the age of 22. I remember it was a Nokia phone. Had lights on the side. It was like I believe it might have been one of the first phones that had video on it. And the video, the quality was shit. It's like you downloaded a fucking DivX file from 1996 or something. But were they around back then? I don't know. I'm just kind of making shit up. But the point is. It's tough out there, and online dating is not any easier, ladies and gentlemen. As I'm going to share with these beautiful stories, like I always do. So again, I do kind of agree with this guy. You will not. The odds of you finding your true love is pretty fucking rare. The odds of you hitting the lottery is pretty rare. It's you got to think of online dating like a lottery. Someone's got to win. The odds of it being you are pretty fucking rare. So it is what it is. But, of course, I like to tell beautiful stories on here. Well, some beautiful, some shitty, but some of them are shitty beautiful. But the point is, if you'd like to follow my channel, along with my 3 fans, my handle, as they call it, that doesn't sound right, does it? What would they call it? The link handle? I don't know. I give up. It's called at the Malaka Podcast 416 on YouTube. If you're a fan of Chuck Norris, come on, we all are. Follow on YouTube at the Chuck Norris channel. And if you like pointless and cool videos on good old TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok at the Malaka Podcast 647. I always put up a lot of funny shit on there. Some original content, some not. I don't know. It seems to be way more freer than it is on YouTube. But the point is, I appreciate you guys following me and listening. I really do, honestly. In these days and times and on these beautiful rainy days, there's nothing else to do. So let's begin. So it's one profile I came across, and again, this seems to be an ongoing problem online. You see a picture of somebody, and in this case, I see a picture of a woman. She's kind of got a, Lisa Loeb kind of vibe, the whole geeky nerd thing. I like that, she's cute. And then she puts in bold caps, no cancers, double exclamation mark. If you're only messaging me to ask why no cancers, I'm not replying. Taller than 5'7". Okay. So a couple mixed messages here. I don't know if she's talking about the zodiac sign. I don't know if she means maybe it's a metaphorical thing. Like, I don't want people affecting my life like a cancer, And how do you expect not to say that? And then people ask, why no cancers? We have to We have to ask that. I mean, like it's like if you tell someone don't do it, we can't wait to fucking do it. Oh, if all your friends jumped off a bridge, would you do it? Fuck yeah, I would. Now people do it. They put it on TikTok, and I don't know, they get some money for it. I mean, boy, parents back in the day were really wrong. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to point this out. I am trying to be funny here. Please do not jump off a bridge. My God, I don't need the lawsuit. The point is, she wants someone taller than 5'7", but then she might be 5'7", and maybe she put it in wrong. That's what she said, and it just. I don't know what's going on here. But the point is, you look at the main profile picture here, and I'm assuming she's, a certain age or what she's saying. She looks pretty good for age. I'm not going to lie. But again, you see the other pictures, and holy shit, she aged, and again, I'm not judging here, she aged easily 20 years, maybe even 30. Okay? It's not even just like the gray hair, wrinkles, just, it's literally like she's got 4 pictures up here, and it's like it's like every picture aged like another 5 to 10 years, and she still looks good, but clearly something doesn't match here. You know what I mean? And then okay, so maybe I'm getting some more proof here. She said she wrote a whole thing here about dating a Pisces. So is she a Pisces? Does she? I'm still very confused. Dating a Pisces will bring you a new captivating perspective on life. A Pisces will open you up to a new ways of thinking and new ways of perceiving things. Dating a Pisces will blah, 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 whatever. Fuck. The point is, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is 2 things. One, again, please have a very clear picture, and not even just clear, like a recent pictures that, I don't know, match the different decades you took the last one in. And I mean, does it really, I actually follow like zodiac signs and shit like that too. I mean, it's just, I'm stupid too, but I mean, does it matter? Does it really matter? Like, I dated a Scorpio who, was a little nuts, and now I'm gonna judge every Scorpio, and I'm a fucking scholar. Like, who cares, man? Jesus Christ, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Okay, it's like dating. I'm not. You know what? No, I'm not gonna. No, for political and PC reasons, I'm not touching this. But the point is, if someone is different than you and they screw you over, that doesn't mean everyone else different than you is going to screw you over in the future. Okay, so let's just take zodiac signs and just put up some recent pictures, please, for God's sakes. It literally looked like a time machine. I don't, come on. I like to think we're all better than this. So this one person I talked to here, we exchanged numbers, and I guess I was just talking to her or whatever, and I don't know. I'm saying some stuff here, like are you busy, whatever. So, sometimes again, you don't know who's about to ghost you. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. I'm not gonna lie. And again, if you look at me, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Okay, it is what it is. I mean, if I told you. Kevin James was my brother, you would believe me. But the point is, I get it. And she's like, nah, I was out late last night and then up early today. It's just been a long day, So just as a joke, I go, so it's not me, She's like, no, not yet. And I go, what does that mean? So let's see if she's, like just joking around and she's cool, or she could be a bitch. I don't know, but I'm still trying to figure it out here. It means the potential to bore me still exists. However, it has not happened. And then I text her back. I said, I mean, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, more bitch, but okay, I'll play along. Then I said, I've been pretty nice to you so far. I mean, I don't think so. You're the one from. And I'm not going to say where she's from, but it's somewhere in Ontario that's not. I'm not saying it's bad, but I don't think really anything happens there, unless you're a farmer. I said, like, were you born there? She's like, oh gosh, no. And I said, oh, okay. You know, and then she even said, like, that would make me terribly boring. LOL. So okay, so she gets, okay, so the bitch thing is, maybe disappearing. Have you always been in Toronto? And I go, well, pretty much, I guess. Where else have you been? Well, and then I make a joke. I said, well, I was only born in one place, LOL. And she's like, hmm. And then a lot of time when people go to me, it could be like, like I'm good. You're cool. I dig bald guys. Or I wonder about you. But either way, I hit him back with Michael. You know, and then I said, okay, then, where'd you live before this place? And then she said, you're dodging. And I said, I said, no, I was, I was actually born in Toronto, you know. But then she said, I was going to say, other places I was, thing. And then, she said, I'm going to have to say goodnight. So clearly the bitch mode is more in effect here. And I didn't please Queenie. And then I said, I'm not dodging. You never answered my first original question. Where were you originally from? So, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie to you. This happens to me and probably a lot of people out there all the time. It's more of a power move. Again, this is why a lot of people cannot get along online because they've been burned in the past. And, I think they decided, hey, I got to be the number one. So you answer my shit or else it's my way or no way, which, is always a great attitude to have in life. And then I said, look, decide to live in this place. So, I'm going to have to say good morning, as a, why not? And then she said, good morning, the next day, I think. And she's like, my first choice was this place. And then, because of 2020, COVID, blah, 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 a lot of people, of course they moved, during COVID because, COVID fucked up everything. I guess a lot of people still did the online thing, during COVID. Nothing else to do. Did people really care they're going to catch something? Or, people are, fucking with a mask on. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Some people enjoyed that before COVID. But anyways, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know. And again, she's like, oh God, no. That's seems to be her catchphrase. And oh yeah, I was talking about her. Like, she went back to living with her mother, of course. Somebody tells me this is more than likely with her mentality. It'll probably last a while, but again, I don't judge. And then she said, no, I love her, but I had to live with her for 3 months once, and one of my eyebrows fell out due to stress. Now, obviously, on some level, I want to make a Latina joke here. I'm not going to touch that, but I've never heard that. Losing hair because of stress. I've never heard like a whole eyebrow popping out. And I'm assuming the other one's fine. So like she'll always look like, I don't know, an evil villain, I guess. Like always thinking of, something or, I don't know, looking like The Rock in 1999. I don't know. But she lives about 19 minutes away from me. So I'm like, okay, cool. You got to have your buffer zone there. You don't want to lose the other one. What are you up to today? I'm working. I send her a nice little compliment about her looks and, and then just be on the safe side. I said, is that okay to say, or are you offended by that too? So, of course I'm being a, sarcastic prick at this point because she's just nuts. And, you are a lot of fun to chat with. And I get the feeling we won't work out romantically. I wish you all the best, truly. And then I told her, I said I disagree and I'm still here. That's one thing people got to learn is just because you say goodbye to someone doesn't mean they're going to leave. I'm not a slave here. I'm still going to hold my own here. So And I told her, I said, there's no reason to be condescending and rude. Is it a secret, what you do for a living or no? Like, it sounded she kind of implied that she might have worked for, I'm not saying the government, but some kind of weird job or something. And she wouldn't say what it is. So, it's weird how she tells me her whole mother issues, but not like what she does for a living. So, I don't know, go figure. But, I told her straight up, I said, let's prove to the world that you're not on OnlyFans and you're not only looking for a paycheck, And of course, at this point, she completely disappeared, and I'm gonna assume she, I was right. But the point is, again, sometimes it's hard to open up online. I get that. I get it, But at the same time, it's there's no reason to be a bitch about it. I mean, just tell me, simple questions. What's the living situation like? What do you do for a living? Is it easy to breathe air while you're, breathing in sulfur and hell? Just some very simple things. If you could just, help me out here. That's all. So, again, try not to bring in the past relationships and, or self-loathing hatred you have in the past here. I try to be, maybe I'm not the best example sometimes, but I try. I try, damn it. I do. Not so much, but, after 77 episodes of this, it's hard to. But the point is, try not to be that angry, You can be a little angry, I guess. I get it, but at the same time, I'm just saying, stop being angry. Life is not that bad. I mean, life online, yeah, well, yeah, it is. It's that bad. But, like in general, just try to, just try. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Obviously we all do online dating, right? That's why we're all here. Sometimes, like, you don't even go on a dating site. Sometimes, like, there's so many. I mean, speaking of COVID, ever since COVID, I don't know about you guys, but there's been so many scams. Sometimes I just get a random text on my phone. Seems to be on a Thursday and Friday, and I'm assuming they do this on purpose because they know people get paid on Thursday and Fridays, and they want to take advantage of that. They just got their money. Maybe they're going to try to scam them into something, whatever. And sometimes, it's like you don't have to go on an online dating site or app and, people try to scam you, try to get money out of you. It's pretty crazy. I've spoken to a few women as well, and, they try to get scammed as well. And it works both ways. It's not just guys, and it's pretty crazy. So, yeah, sometimes I will get a random text from somebody, and yeah, this was a random text. Like I had no idea who this was, and I get a random text from an area code of 236, which I have no idea. So of course I always look up the area code, and surprise, surprise, it's I'm from Toronto, Ontario. I know the city's going to shit, and our mayor, just for some reason is still smiling about it. But I still love the city. But I know this is not an area code. So, and then I found out it's from British Columbia, Canada. All right, so either Toronto or British Columbia. That's where a lot of things are taped up here for movies, TV. So it's a pretty popular place. Maybe that's why they picked this area code. I've heard they have good weed there too, but yeah, I know that I already knew this was bullshit. But the first text said, "I miss our silly selfies." So I'm like, all right, I'm bored. I'll play along. And I said, "I missed who this is." LOL. And then well, I was gonna say she. I mean, this could be an 80-year-old man for all I know. This could be Epstein Island looking for new recruits. Who knows? Said, and then this person said, "Dear Rose, it's me, Isabella. Are you forget me? Now she spelled R-A-R space E. And I said, yeah, absolutely. LOL. Yeah, plus, I've never been to BC. And then she said, or he said, or I don't know. I mean, listen, let's be honest. In this world, it could be both. I messaged you by mistake. I checked the no and understood. I'm sorry I didn't bother you. And I said, it's okay. Are you sure? Who are you looking for? No voicemail. So at this point, I called the number, and usually when you call no voicemail, it says the person you're trying to reach out of service, blah blah blah. We all know the scams at this point. And then the person said, "Thanks for being nice. Actually, I changed my PN." Now PN, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what PN means. So let's hello Google. PN. Let's see, stands for. Now it says part number. So again, why would someone have a part-time number? I wonder. And then they said, because of which I lost some contacts. I was looking for my friend Rose here. And I said, okay. I fucked this one up, but I was trying to say is like, have you checked the garden? LOL. Brilliant. And then she said, thank you for thinking of me. You are, again, she doesn't know that AR and E are one word there, a very friendly person. Where do you live? Okay, so you got the wrong person, but yet you still want to engage in a conversation with me. Okay, that's, no red flags here. And I said, Ontario. Ontario is a beautiful place. I went there for my off-ice work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, I've been living underneath a rock for the last, few months here. I'm assuming she's talking about ICE, about these people being hired recently for the States and just, basically causing more of a havoc than Donald Trump ever could. So I'm thinking, is she even looking for a date at this point? Is she scoping out the people that she can, arrest in Canada? I mean, there's so many things. Maybe she's just a fan of ice. I don't know. We all like cold drinks. For some reason, she spelled work with a 0 instead of an O. All right. I was born in Malaysia. Yeah, no shit. No, now I live in New York. Where you born in Canada? Okay. Okay, so I would say more the Malaysia part is showing up here. And I said, cool, yes. She said, I can't even answer her question. That's great. So I could be talking to a robot at this point. That's great. I think you're lucky you were born in Canada. By the way, my name is Isabella Miller. I may know your beautiful name. And of course, I say the classic joke here, Mihoff, first name Jack. And she didn't get the joke. You'd be surprised how many people don't get that joke. Your name's sweet. Nice to meet you, Jack. I said thank you. Jack, how old are you? Again, A-R-E, like it's one word. I don't, okay. I'm 34 years old. And I lied. I said I'm 37. Great. We are very close in age. Pleasure to chat with you. Should we keep in touch? Maybe we will be good friends. I'll play along. Why not? Okay. And of course, I got to know what this person looks like, or just what, they, I don't know what kind of scam, the scam picture they got on Google here. I got to know. So send a picture of yourself. She's like, sure, but this is my off-ice no. You're she's trying to say office. I just realized that. Wow. There's okay. So like so we're both at fault here. She can't write. I can't read. Why does she put it as well? But I'm assuming it could mean off ice. Maybe she. I don't know. Maybe she's trying to make some extra money. Like Mr. Mackey on South Park. I got to cover my nut. Okay. But yeah, do you have WhatsApp? Oh, there it is. Okay, okay, Jake. Listen. Whenever I hear the word WhatsApp, it's a scam. That's it. That's where all these fuckers operate, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it is a clear-cut way to get people's information, and on top of that, come up with a fake number, sort of no paper trail, long distance for free. It's a classic scammer move, where we can keep in touch and exchange pictures. And I said, no, can you send them here? And she said, I'm really sorry. Actually, I'm not active here. Well, clearly, you only sent me 10 messages so far. I'm using this to find my friend. This PN is mostly with my assistant. I use WhatsApp and Telegram, which I don't think anybody's heard that word since 1954, to talk to family and friends. So then I said, how are you texting me now then? And she said, I took this from my assistant so I could find my friend. My friend is also Canadian. So how can you, so at this point I'm like, so how can you afford an assistant if you have to borrow shit from your assistant? This is, assistant can mean so many things. But anyways, I'm just like, I see. So if you're from New York, why do you have a British Columbia number? After meeting you, I felt that you are a very good and friendly person. Good segue. So I wanted to give you my personal WhatsApp so that we can communicate there permanently. Oh, it must be my lucky day. That doesn't answer my question. Then she said, I told you that I went to Canada for my off-ice work. I believe, let's assume she works in an office. I believe you have to, be able to spell the office and not work with a zero. It was a very popular show. It was called The Office. If you didn't know how to spell office after that, then you're off. That's what she said. The point is, she said, I had to stay there for 3 weeks. Then I took this number. So I said, what office work do you do? She said, look, I don't like wasting time. Again, clearly, if this chat is comfortable for you, then I can give you my WhatsApp if you want. Otherwise, I'll let you go. So then I said, on to the next scam, huh? LOL. Does this actually ever work? And I ask them all the time, like once it's kind of ran its course. I'm like, and no one really answers me. So I'm assuming it doesn't. I am an environmentalist. Okay. There's, the second half, I believe. What do you do for a living? And I said, I thought you were leaving. And she said, haha, I didn't expect you to behave like this. I want to say goodbye to you. And then I said, I assume you expected a paycheck like most whores, LOL. And I said, are you too good for OnlyFans? LOL. And I don't know, just to fuck with her, I said, the number is being reported to the police. And there you go, folks. So ladies and gentlemen, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You shouldn't scam people, but if you do, which I do not condone, try to make it somewhat believable. This is just a sad state of affairs. And again, you could tell, maybe some people will fall for this. Maybe they're that sad and desperate, but, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I hope she finds the Jack Mehoff that she deserves. And I'm just gonna keep doing me here. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, this has been another exciting, British Columbia episode of Computer Love, Part 77.
How you doing, buddy? Transporting a prisoner. 12th precinct up in Buckleytown. My sergeant didn't give me any overtime, so I'm trying to do it lickety-split.
Tell me, officer, do you have any idea how fast you were going?
Well, I got a 426 Hemi here. 3/4 cams, nitro boosters. I can get her up to as good as 155. Never do, though, of course, unless I'm chasing a cute chick in a Ferrari. I guess I was going about 65 tops.
7 miles an hour. And normally when I stop people, they pull onto the shoulder. Now, I don't know how you do things up in Buckleytown, but down here we are protective of the other drivers on the roads.
Roads. Quiet back there. Taking enough guff from you for one day. Raving psycho. Butchered 400 chickens and screwed a beagle. Taking him back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses.
Good God. And you get him through this state a little faster than 7 miles an hour, officer.
Me off. Jack.